have to thank my team. They were really amazing. Everybody was super busy with work and with other, we had so many things to do as architect. Everybody would their own schedule, but then everybody put so much effort into this project, and they managed to push themselves, and they were very responsive to all the comments. So I'm very happy, and I learned a lot through the exchange with them. And today we are going to present the basically the evolution of the proposal we had in the 3 different sites. And the first time we maybe focused a bit more on what made us choose that kind of proposal. And this time, I think the focus will be more on what we improved and what we think the solution should move in terms of the next steps. So we focus more on the cluster making from the single unit, and also on the single unit itself. And I'll leave everyone in the team presenting from now on. Just one thing, I know there's not much time from now to the final submission, but if you have comments and suggestions, the team is very, very responsive, so I think they can integrate the comments by the end of this project. So feel free to say what you think, without thinking that then it might create some sort of stress to them. I think it's so productive stress, and I'll be very happy to hear what you think. Thank you, and Emanuela will share the presentation for the team. Thank you very much.
Okay, hello everyone. We'll start first with Sasso site shelter solution. Can we go next? So basically, the design is inspired by the Somali vernacular structures, rooted in local tectonics, traditional spatial module, and the natural materials. The design drivers come in response to an understanding of the site, Busaso site, where advanced construction practice and the use of courtyards inform this approach. Next slide, please. Can we go to the next slide? Using a modular unit, the design allows for incremental and scalable approach. The shelter's expansion is user-driven, allowing families to adapt the space over time based on their changing needs, resources, and household dynamics. This could include adding a living space, a private latrine, or a livelihood integration into the plot, the space ensuring the shelter grows with its occupants. Next, please. The shelter layout consists of 2 main enclosed spaces, a living spaces centered around a covered semi-outdoor area that opens into a private garden. The design allows for flexible rooms divisions that can adapt to gender norms and privacy needs, offering a culturally sensitive and dignified living environment. Next slide. This image shows a living cluster inspired by the Somali vernacular fabric, where the shelter and the shared open spaces form an organic spatial enclosure that foster community and reimagine how displaced people can live and connect with dignity. Next slide, please. This interior space highlights the shelter, the heart communal area designed for gathering, living, and cooking, encompassed by flexible partitions, allow the space to shift between shared living and private moments. Next slide, please. The structure uses local materials like acacia logs, mud bricks, and palm leaves, applied in a primitive and forgiving way of constructability. It's assembled by stacking 4 layers of wood logs and connected by a wall integrated pin stabilizers to secure the structure. This system is easy to build and supports local craftsmanship and self-build practice. Next slide, please. This cross-section highlights the shelter promotes cross-air ventilation and a natural light quality, allowing the thermal comfort by using earth-based materials. Next slide, please. The cluster is shaped by a variety of block types that create an authentic spatial quality, a built form that creates a series of organic public spaces that are not intentional rather than they emerge as a result of how the blocks are positioned. Next slide, please. Finally, this section illustrates the integrated water strategy, where it includes rainwater harvesting, greywater recycling, and a humidity capture tower that collects water from air, ensuring a resilient supply in arid condition. A cross-section that shows a holistic system for all the cluster. And now I'll pass it to my colleague. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you for your attention. This is the low side. This is a very interesting side. I think we have been studying its situation. Can we go to the next one, please? So, we were very interested on the organic growing of Dolo regarding regarding to the side of the development. Can we go to the next one, please? And for this side, we were inspired by the vernacular construction, self-construction, especially on the ACAL. We were inspired also by the community work that this takes, and so this is a very important part for us. And also on the nomadic culture, which translates into the ability to just pack everything and move and as well. This is it is important to say that this design answers to the very early stages of an emergency. It is not intended to be like for staying a long time, but for solving a short-term problem. Can we go to the next, please? So as we were saying, we were very interested in how the grid suddenly start decomposing into a more organic flow and a more organic cell-like composition, and we know it is because we wanted to emulate this growing, so we are proposing a different kind of plots and a different kind of composition for the general layout into a more organic and community-driven composition of cells. So we are creating clusters of 3 and 4 plots because of safety and because of community. So each plot has a common area on the middle, and in the intersection of several of these cells, we have a market and also a park and public spaces. Can we go to the next one? So inspired by the ACAL, we tried to take a contemporary approach into it and using a reciprocal structure just to recreate and try to emulate this idea of the structure and how important it was for us. So we wanted to keep it on the outside and keeping the fabrics on the inside. Can we go to the next one? So it is very simple. It is a structure that you can put together on the ground, and then with the help of the community, just compress it and create this both by fixing the anchors to the ground. As you see, the plot is a round one, and the idea is to have like a space for main storage, but also a space for growing some plants or also having cattle, small cattle. Can we go to the next one, please? So this is an image of how it works, and it is a merge of two volumes just to ensure we have different environments inside of the same structure. Please. Yeah. So as we say, the idea is to make a tribute to the Akal. So making visible the structure that it's really interesting, and how people gather in community just to create this structure. Next one, please. Yeah, exactly. This is how the cluster works, and we have these modules. We have four main modules with a shared kitchen inside. We have farming area, livestock area, and space for keeping private things secure. Can we go to the next one, please? So this is how it works, how one of the cluster works. Of course, we would have several of these ones, but this is also for scale. Next one. Okay, we can go to the next image. Yeah. So on a urban level, we have been working on keeping the latrines on the outside of the cluster, and they very common spaces on the center of these cells. So we have the public well, market square, we have an auditorium, and a playground. All this to create like a very close community, and keeping like different anchors on different parts, so you can know all your neighbors. You can walk around this place and make it more like a livable space instead of just a row of shelters. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm going to be presenting the proposal for the Baidoa site. So next one, please. So Baidoa is the largest city of the southwest of Somalia, and it plays a huge role in our agriculture and trade of the region. It has a big problem with flooding, so one of the main aspects to consider was that in designing the shelter. Next one, please. So in analyzing the site's location on the southeast of Baidoa was selected. This space has a lower risk of flooding, and it also has the advantage of being close to roads and being only 4 kilometers from the center. Next one. Next one, please. No, it was the one before. Okay, so the design aims to respond directly to local Somali traditions, emphasizing privacy, modularity, community cohesion through a sustainable solution. Some of the principles used were connecting tradition with modernity through the respect for privacy in the design, the use of local materials and collaborative strategies. And one of the key points was also the flexibility and adaptability of the space, as well as the possibility for expansion. Next one, please. So here is just summarized some of the basic principles in terms of design. So for it to be flexible, breathable, and expandable. Next one. So here is the plan for the proposed shelter. Privacy is a central principle in Somali society, so the shelter layout respects this by allowing for the separation of spaces. This is achieved through the use of traditional fabric curtains here in the sleeping areas and also configurable interior zones. So everything inside is adaptable to the user's needs. So inside, as I mentioned, the shelter is open and also flexible. There is no fixed furniture or program that is imposed, allowing for the residents to define how the space is going to be used according to the daily rhythms and cultural needs. The central part is left intentionally undefined so that it can be a free zone that can accommodate a wide range of daily functions. Here on the outside, the idea is that it can be transformed into a place for cooking, and here it can be either a praying space or a playing space for children. And we also have some small gardening areas so that people can use their plot space to harvest. Next one. So community structure has also guided the spatial strategy. So instead of isolating households in standardized units, the design promotes extended family living by enabling the clustering of individual shelters into compound-like foundations. And these can be also expanded and adapted over time. So here are a few examples of that. The first one being just for one or two people, and then growing according to the different configurations because the panels can be open and integrate two housing units into one. So next one. So in terms of construction, the shelter is built from materials that are both sustainable and familiar to the local population. So we chose to use wood that would be ideally recycled or reclaimed for the structure so that it wouldn't contribute to deforestation. The panels that create the doors are also made of wood and then branches, so that people can customize the openings as they wish. So it can be fully closed, some open, according to their uses. Uh, Given that flexibility was also a key aspect being integrated in the shelter. Mud bricks are also employed for the walls in the in the more fixed walls here, integrating a traditional building material that is thermally effective and socially meaningful. The use of mud brick is also encouraging community participation. Finally, the roof is made of metal sheets, also recycled, so it's durable and waterproof. And the shelter's architecture is based on a lightweight modular frame, and its key point is the origami shaped roof that has the advantage of allowing for rainwater harvesting, as it's shown here. And also by being lifted, it allows for passive cooling and the creation of shaded areas outside. So outside of the shelter, as we saw in the plan, there's always outside shaded areas. Next one. So at the settlement scale, the project proposes a layout that reflects the communal nature of the Somali life. As I said, individual shelters can be grouped into clusters, and these clusters are organized in an organic manner so that it doesn't follow a strict grid layout, and it includes shared zones. Other types of infrastructure, such as latrines, kitchens, and a central market, and also private water points for the clusters, are also incorporated into the site plan. In addition to the basic shelter, the design also encourages gardening, outdoor cooking, and the most important aspect, which would be social gathering. The movable doors and panels, as I mentioned, allow the residents to reshape their plots as the needs evolve, both in terms of the individual plot as in the cluster. Yeah, and here are some images that show the layout of the shelter.
And these are the Next, the next solution in Python side. So we in Python side we're gonna make this cluster. We paste it on this cluster, the Somali cultural simplicity forms or buildings. We're gonna make this central tree. So we gonna make this central tree that is gathering for the society. So this central also we make the central market and water tank. Also we make every cluster. This is Latin and WC. So this are main cluster. Next. Our main concept is the mat that became a home. This means that these are Somali traditional mat that's used for where they use it for traditionally mat. That's why we take our main concept of shelter solution. The mat and shelter also they looks like relax or housing. So our main concept is mat, Somali traditional mat. So we develop like this shape. We make subtraction for this. Next, we make this offset or overhang roof. So that's it, our main concept. Next. So we gonna make our site for this cluster. So we make this cluster. Now we paste it on our shape. So we're gonna take for this plan, this double entrance plus veranda, family space, kitchen, central, 2 bedrooms. So we gotta make water harvesting tank, pack plants. Also, these people they flee from the draft, and they have a lot of animals. So we gotta make if they need for these animals store. Also, if they are like the farm or people from the farmers, like they just need for the farm. Also, they use this space for the farm. Next, we gotta make like these three designs. These are mini. This another. This mini is only paid and kitchen. This another is paid bedroom, kitchen, family space. Also extra bedroom. These are labs. Also the medium is bedroom and bedroom, kitchen, veranda and family space. That's three made. Next. So we gotta make make these are our main structures. This contain the wood brick. This outer is the Somali timber, wood timber. This roof is iron cluster or iron metal that used most Somalis used by wood. It has also have two main entrances. Next. Okay, you're gonna see this pag elevation also have the water tank roof that's used for water harvesting. That's why we use the water harvesting system. Most of the Somali have rain 2 seasons. We need to make harvesting, so we gonna design for like this sloping roof. Use it for tank water tank to use for like harvesting. Next. Okay, next. Okay, thank you.